Hey, JC here for retirecheap.asia. A lot of people watch my videos. I'm really amazed. I guess there's a lot of demand for this kind of information that I give. And some people have been watching my videos from the very beginning. And then some of them I lose contact with and they'll pop back up. Well, there's a man and his wife, John and Barbara, who started out watching my videos when I first started producing them. And I hadn't been in contact with them for a while. And then I sent off an email to them, and they said they were living in Thailand. And so this was amazing. So I contacted them and asked them if I could talk to them a little bit about, what prompted them to come over, how they made this decision. And what's amazing is John hadn't been here in Thailand for 30 years. Barbara had never been to Thailand, and they made the big leap to come and live over here. So let's find out what prompted them to do this and how they feel about their decision, and a couple other things along the way as well. I hope you enjoy the interview.
I had been listening to Barbara telling me about Okinawa for 30 years and how she loved it there, and she dreamed about it almost weekly, and how that her dad was in the Air Force, and the day that she left she hugged her house. And how much she loved it as a child. And I talked to other people that had been in Okinawa, and they have the same impression. And I showed Barbara your video about Chiang Mai, about what it looked like, and I said, what do you think? Is that like what you looked at when you were a child? And she said yes. And I said, well, I had been there 30 years ago in the 80s, and I went running here and got lost, and a rickshaw driver had to take me back. But the weather here was nice, and the people were friendly. And I said, well, would you like to go see what that's like? And my retirement, I wasn't going to retire for 2 or 3 years, but I found out that my paycheck kept getting smaller because the school district kept losing money and not having enough money to pay us, so they reduced our pay. So it got to the point where my retirement was higher than my pay. So
and both of y'all were teachers, right?
Yes.
And you taught?
I taught high school algebra and geometry.
And Barbara, what did you teach?
Elementary school, and I had already retired a couple years before that.
Okay, all right. So you'd already made the decision to retire,
yes.
And so you said, hey, my checks are smaller than what my retirement benefits would be. I might as well take it as well.
Yes, that's right. And I saw that, like you said, that the housing in Chiang Mai was reasonable. The food, I knew that was reasonable. It's still 30 baht or $1 for a meal, and the people are really friendly and nice. And I thought that we could try this to look at it for 2 weeks first and see if we liked it. So we came over here in June after school ended, and I retired, and I showed it to Barbara. We stayed in a nice house here with a friend of mine, and Barbara loved it from the first day, from the time she walked off the airplane.
Did it remind you at all of what you had remembered as a child in Okinawa?
My experience with Okinawa was, of course, many years ago, and I was 4, 5, and 6 when I was there. But I had always wanted to go back, and yet I knew that Okinawa had changed so much I couldn't go back because it wasn't there anymore.
The one you knew wasn't there anymore.
When I came so I was open to Asia in general, and John had been to Japan previously and really liked it, but we knew Japan was very expensive and geared toward working people and not retirement. And so we needed an alternative. So we were talking about this, and I thought, okay, well, it's Asia, it's not Okinawa, but it may be now what Okinawa was before. So when I came to Chiang Mai, the first thing that occurred to me was the atmosphere. The humidity, the plants, that kind of thing. So that hit me right off.
And it's not like you all were coming from snow, because their home was in Southern California,
yes.
So you were used to having a nice climate.
Yes.
And so
maybe not as humid, but nice.
Not as humid.
Yes.
And once you came over, Were the videos that I did representative of what you experienced once you got here?
Yeah.
Yes,
Because I want
very. It
people
was-
to understand that I'm not presenting something that's different than when they get here.
No, it's exactly. I was at the Central Airport Plaza last Saturday, and I had remembered you making a video of the movie theaters. It was exactly like that. I mean, I was looking at the same thing, and
That's
the
how
McDonald's.
we knew where we were in the
Yeah,
mall.
that's how
Really?
we. Yeah, that's how we knew where we were. That we saw the movie theater, and we saw the McDonald's, and we saw. And I thought, I've seen this before. It's on your website,
Yeah.
you know. So I watched that, and it was very helpful because when you look around, I noticed your movies and your videos, and they're the same as what I see when I'm here. So yeah, they are the same.
And so did you feel sort of like you came home a little bit?
I did not. When I was, of course, in the airport, it's modern, it's new, it's not Okinawa, obviously. And when I was in the city, that was still pretty modern. But as you go off the road a little bit, a few minutes away, not a long way away, a few minutes, not more than 5 minutes away, you get villages.
Yeah.
And then I knew this is Okinawa.
And this
is what I
actually,
missed.
we're just coming up on February, and I don't know if you've noticed if you've gone out of town in the last couple of weeks, but this is the time of year that the rice fields a lot of them have been planted.
Oh, yes.
And the rice is just starting to come up, and the green color
It's
of
pretty.
the fresh rice, it's a lot of what people really represent in their mind of what Asia or Southeast Asia is like. When you see
Exactly.
those beautiful green rice fields with the green of the fresh rice coming out of the
It's
water.
right down the street. You can sit, when I go running down the street, it's right down the street.
Yeah, you can run out into the villages. You know?
You can.
But it's beautiful. It really is that image that we have of Southeast Asia, those rice fields.
The general greenery, and when we first, John is basically a California boy, but I moved all around, and when we came to Chiang Mai, and he said, look at all the banana trees, and look at this, and look at that, and look at how do they get them to do that? And I said, you can't get them to stop.
Yeah, right.
It's not how do you get them to do it. You can't stop
they're
it.
like
He didn't
weeds,
have an
yeah.
idea that is what it's like.
Yeah, the tropical plants, coming from the southeastern United States. I grew up with bougainvilleas and hibiscus and all these plants, and coming here, it's a lot like that. You get those tropical plants and the coconut palms and stuff like that, and it's a great atmosphere. And especially, I look out your window, and the person across the street has a papaya tree growing in their yard with papayas on it.
Oh yeah. And we got
We have
mango.
one, no, that's a papaya,
papaya
out
tree?
back. John
Oh,
gets
we got
them
one in the
confused.
back.
Yeah, they
We
got
have
a
one, too.
papaya tree in their
We
yard.
have one too.
Yeah, so and for people coming from northern climates or from Europe, and they're experiencing really cold weather, this is a really nice, and especially up in the north here, it's actually a cool and a little drier air this time of year. So it's a great environment to come to. So you made the move. Actually, you came over for how long?
2
the
weeks.
First one, 2 weeks.
2
and
weeks.
then how long were you back before you decided you were going to do this?
1 month.
We came here for 2 weeks. Barbara liked it so much, we went back home to California, sold everything we had, put our house for sale, and gave away our furniture and all the other things we had, and decided to move on September 1st.
September 1st.
Yeah, so we stayed away, about 2 months, and then we came here. And on September 1st, exactly September 1st, we moved into this house.
And so besides the cost of living, what else was it that you were looking for choosing Thailand or choosing Southeast Asia? What was it that was your criteria for where you would live in your retirement?
The laid-back lifestyle and lack of stress. Because there is something that's funny that Barbara knows, but you don't know about it, and this makes me sleepy. It's like being in Hawaii. The weather here makes me relaxed every day because of the way it is, and it's not hot and humid or anything. It has to do with just being moist. It makes me drowsy, so it really relaxes you, and it's a relaxing lifestyle. The people are nice. The climate is really nice. What Barbara didn't mention about the climate is that it smells like Hawaii. when you get off the airplane from America and come out of the airport here in Chiang Mai, it smells like, it feels like you're in Hawaii, which people pay to go to, and it's very expensive to live there. Well,
But
that's
the point with me was that Hawaii smelled like Okinawa. So
that's
that was,
right.
When
You
I
have
went
that
when I went to
relationship.
Hawaii as an adult, I
It's
thought,
like, wow, it's like
"Whoa,
Okinawa."
this is just like Okinawa.
Yeah, which is a pleasant place. And so we wanted a place where it would be laid back and calm and peaceful and be less stressful and safe environment. Because other than being a school teacher, I used to be a Los Angeles police officer. That's how I put myself through University of California, Los Angeles. So I know how bad crime is. And I don't want to live in a place where it's filled with criminals.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I arrested murderers. I arrested terrible people. And the thing is that I liked living in a peaceful society where people are good and nice. And here you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you get that feeling of
Yeah.
peacefulness
Yes,
here, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Have you ever
yes,
felt that
yes.
you were, you know,
Threatened?
in danger or any kind of?
Never.
Never, not once, not once. Now I can go running in the dark at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5:30, or I can run any time in the day and nothing happens to me. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes I'm running down in between rice fields. There's nobody going to hurt me.
When I was in America and John would go away for some time, and I was a little bit separated from the other houses, I had this anticipation that something might happen, and I had to be on guard. You know, I had to have a big dog. I had to whatever. Here, John goes out and goes running. I don't worry. I don't worry. The door's unlocked for him to get in when he gets home, so he doesn't have to carry a key. I'm not worried.
I interviewed a guy
not-
by the name of Gary, an older gentleman, and I actually did 2 interviews with him. And he gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's in downtown Chiang Mai, and walks from his guest house about a 10-minute walk or so to a park at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I think he's now 72, if I'm not mistaken. He's probably going to look at this and go, "Ah, you didn't even get my age right." But anyway, and he never feels threatened at all. In the middle of the
No.
night, walking to the
Yes.
park to go do his laps in the park. And
No.
so, I mean, this is something to be said. Now, there's crime everywhere, and I get people that slam me some of the time, saying, you know, there's crime everywhere. Go look at the handguns, the deaths from handguns in Thailand and stuff. Yeah, there's crime everywhere. But if you look at the culture and the society and living in it as an average person, we're not talking about going to bad places
Right.
or angering somebody into a violent
Right.
reaction. We're talking about just daily activities. It's a very peaceful society,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's a comfortable one.
Yes.
So this is something to be said about that. So from your impressions of when you made the decision, okay, we're going to go do this, which was a big decision, and I got to congratulate you. I mean, this is
Oh, thanks.
a leap of faith to do
Yeah.
this. And if my videos helped in some way to make
It
it
did.
easier,
did.
that's a good thing,
It
and I
did.
feel good about that. From what you thought it was going to be like, and now having been here for about 6 months, is it matching your expectations of what you thought it was going to be?
It's better than what I thought it would be.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's better than what I thought it would be because I had never lived in a tropical atmosphere before. I've only lived in Southern California, which, you know, in the wintertime is in Southern California inland, it can be 30 degrees in the morning and 80 degrees in the afternoon. And in the summertime, it's 100 degrees in the afternoon. And I lived in a small community, and I lived in brush areas where they have forest fires and things like that. And brush fires, and I've never lived in any place like this before. I like this. I like this weather.
Having
here.
said that, and I'm going to tell you, from about February 15th to about April 15th is when they'll start. We lose the winds coming out of the north. They'll clock around, come back out of the south again, but they'll be very light. We won't get hardly any air. It'll get more humid because it's coming out of the south, and that's when they burn
Rice
some of
fields.
the rice fields and preemptively burn mountainsides because they want to cut down that brush before it gets big, and then in dry season it could create a big fire.
Right.
So the air quality up here for a couple months is going to get a little bit smoky.
Right.
And so this is something, you just made me think of this when you said brush fires,
yeah.
because we do have that kind of stuff up here, and we're trying to remedy it. They're looking for ways to keep people, you know, educate people that it's not a good thing, it's not good
Right,
for the air
right.
quality and stuff. So hopefully in the future it'll change. I have some ideas of how to help that out, and I've talked to somebody about instituting some things, and we'll see if those happen. But it is something to keep
Right.
in mind. I always say it's a good time to go vacation during those couple months. You know, go to the beach, lay in a hammock or something, and we have beautiful beaches.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so it's better. How about you? Is it?
It's more modern than I had thought. I wasn't as bad as a lot of our friends back in America who, when they thought we were moving to Thailand, thought we were moving to a village in the middle of a rice field.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we'd have tigers and cobras all
Yeah,
around us.
yeah, right.
I wasn't that bad, but I didn't know that it would be as modern as it is. I mean, you can go out to places and then it isn't modern
Right.
anymore. But I didn't know that Chiang Mai would be as forward and modern as it is. So that was a surprise.
Do you feel like
It
you
wasn't-
gave up anything by, you know, as far as the convenience?
No, I do not. Some of the items that I buy, I had to change, alternate. So, I mean, if you're really stuck on something, you can, you know, you can have a problem. But as long as you're willing to substitute something for, you know, equal quality, something else. There are a few things like cologne I'm a little bit attached to, so I mail it. It's mailed to me from somewhere else. I can do that, but for the most part, it's a matter of just maybe substituting a different brand. Same product, different brand. Dog food, for instance. Different brand, dog still is happy, I'm happy.
And now, from a female point of view, of being over here now for 6 months, and we talked about this a little bit. You know, a lot of the foreign men that come over get foreign wives. You know, a Thai
Exactly.
wife. You know, instead of bringing their spouse over. And have you met other? I mean, when I showed up, you had a foreign couple here
Yeah.
with you.
Yes.
As far as meeting people and feeling like you fit into this, and now we can only talk about Chiang Mai, of
Right,
course, because
right.
you know. But how do you feel as far as being a foreign lady living in Thailand? I'm sure John helps out a lot,
yes,
you know, because
yes,
you
he
have
does.
somebody, and I think that's going to be different than somebody single coming over. So,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to have a little bit different opinion, but
We definitely, especially when we arrived, because it wasn't the tourist season when we arrived, I definitely knew I was in the minority, meaning that there weren't many foreign women. Many men, you know, men, and men with Thai wives, men alone, but women, foreign women don't generally travel alone. So I knew I was definitely in the minority, and yet I didn't feel odd because I felt welcomed by the Thai people. In fact, people would come up to us and say, "Oh, what a lovely couple you are." I mean, it wasn't as if you're different, you're no good.
Yeah,
It
right.
was, "Oh, well, okay, you're unusual, but that's fine." I was still welcomed. I wasn't, you know, you're odd, so
Ostracis. You weren't
stay away.
ostracized.
No, not at all. I was
in fact, they
helped.
love your white skin.
Yeah,
right?
I was
That's
I
a
was
topic of
helped,
conversation
and-
for them to.
and
That's
I
a
have
Yeah.
kind of-
conversation starter for Thai people. Oh wow, look at your skin.
Yeah, and I
right?
have kind of silky Anglo hair, so they were, "Oh, nice hair," and oh, well, I don't like it, but nice that you
We
do.
all want what we don't have.
Yeah, nice that you do, and so I was welcomed, and they were helping me, so it wasn't anything where I felt like, "Oh boy, I'm in the wrong place," you know. So I was welcomed, and I know there's an expats club, so if I wanted to be with other foreign women, I could definitely, seek that out. And I do know, like our friends that were here when you arrived, that's fine. They're great friends. I don't feel strange in any way, though. I don't feel like, oh boy, I'm never going to fit in
And it's
here.
about networking as well, because if you meet somebody like them, they know other people,
Yes.
and it's getting into the network
Yes.
and acclimating to the expat culture that's over here. And there is a big expat
That's
culture.
true.
If it's something that's appealing to somebody to be in a circle of other foreigners, it's definitely doable just from that networking. You meet somebody, they know other people, and you just end up.
You know, Maggie was saying that the next time she comes out, she was interested in, I guess the Expats Club was having a ladies' luncheon somewhere. She was interested, she didn't want to go alone, she wanted me to go with her. So that would be perfect.
Perfect.
You know, if, you know, wanting to do that, it would be perfect, but I haven't felt like I'm in the wrong place or anything like that at all, which is, you know, I feel comfortable.
Good, good. And I'm gonna before I leave, I'll shoot some video of the outside of the house so people can see where you're living.
Yeah.
You've moved into a home here. It's 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-story.
Yes.
Tile floors. How much rent do you pay a month?
$500.
And is this community a bad community?
It's wonderful. It's nicer than I live. Yeah, the streets are like 60 feet wide. I go running and I don't even have to leave the community. I mean, I can go, I can run for 45 minutes without ever having to leave this property.
That's right, and it's a protected community.
Yeah, it's got guards going up and down. And if
you actually, coming into this complex or this area, residential area, you actually go through 2 guard stations really to come into it.
And they also patrol like 6 times a day on bicycles, scooters, whatever.
Wow. For $500 a month.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes, and
you don't have enough space, do you?
No. and you have a swimming pool, and you have a workout room,
Restaurant.
and a restaurant, and lots
Which
of
delivers.
Which delivers. Wow.
Lots of nice people too.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a nice place. Concrete streets. I mean, it's like you live in.
What would this cost back in California to have a home like this in a community like this?
Probably about $4,000 a month.
Wow.
Maybe a little more.
Wow.
Because especially to have guards, it would be more equivalent to something in Coronado Island or Newport Beach. Yeah, about $400,000, $500,000 for a house like this. And this house, if you bought it, would be about $120,000.
Yeah, I think you're about right. That's about it.
Yeah, and
it may be even less at this point.
Yeah,
the economy's sunk a little bit, and so prices have actually come down a little bit on some of the construction.
100% concrete construction too.
The interior walls are also
concrete.
Yeah, which adds to stability and to the soundproofing between rooms.
And also insulation. It doesn't get hot or cold. So it's pretty good. And the air conditioners are really efficient.
Yeah, we're sitting here, we have a fan on, no air or anything, and it's quite cool. It's very nice.
Yeah, and when you use the air conditioner, even if you use it in your bedroom or whatever every day, the electric bill is like, including a refrigerator and air conditioners and all kinds of stuff, is $50 a month. I mean, you know, compared to $300.
So, just to sort of follow up on and everything, now that you've been here, did you get everything done ahead of time that you needed to do, or did you get here and say, oh, I forgot to do this, this, and this? You got everything done?
No, Barbara is real precise about that. We made checklists, and we followed the checklist just like flying an airplane. We made a checklist on everything we needed to do and a timeline that went along with the checklist, and we went through every single square.
And so are you all happy over here?
Yeah!
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Very. I wouldn't go back.
You wouldn't go
I don't
back.
ever plan to go back.
And we talked about this before we started to roll the camera. It's amazing that you can live this kind of lifestyle, and for you, every month you end up with more money.
Yeah, I put away.
You got more money.
Yeah, every month.
You got more. Your assets are increasing while you're living this lifestyle. That's
right.
amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's totally amazing. It's like living in a $500,000. It's like having a $250,000 a year salary, and we don't. You know, we live a normal teacher salary. And we can live nice. I mean, I don't have a brand new car. I have a nice car, but I don't have a brand new car.
And I said that, you know, after you told me actually the income you got coming in, I would be really hard pressed to be able to spend that kind of money here.
Yes, yes.
I wouldn't be able to spend that kind of money.
You
Once
can't.
you got, you know, your furniture and all that stuff taken care of.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, how could you spend the kind of money?
You can travel. You can enjoy your life.
You could actually do things outside of the home to try and do, but a normal lifestyle, there's no way.
No.
Yeah,
And I said this even on what you were telling me. You could, if you had a golf addiction, you could go out and play golf every day,
Yes.
and you would still have money left over.
That's right.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Oh, yes, it is.
One thing
And this was on a teacher's retirement. Okay, so I want to be real clear about that. You weren't an exec from a company.
No,
I mean,
I'm a high school teacher.
Yeah.
I'm a high school math teacher.
One thing I have to say about you say, are we happy here? For me personally, I'm a little different from a lot of people who wind up in Thailand because I am not a traveler. I do not enjoy traveling that much. In the Air Force, it's always kind of traumatic when you travel.
Yeah, right.
I was brought up that way, and it was kind of a negative thing. So it's not the traveling, it's the place that I like. I like it here.
It's homey for you.
And this is my home.
Yeah, I lived here for about 5 years and went and lived a couple other places, and even when I came to visit, the North felt really comfortable for me, the people and the culture and the prices and everything like that. And I love the beach. I love to go down and visit the beaches and hang out there. It's really nice. And for a lot of people, I know that they came up here and were bored. They need more stimulation or need water, and so I'm going to get out and do more videos of more places and really settle into a place for a month, 2 months, and actually show what it's like to live in those places. And that's going to be coming up real soon, because I know two things. One is we don't want everybody living up here.
No. No.
And it isn't for everybody.
No.
Different people enjoy different things.
That's
so
right.
we're gonna explore that as well. And so those will be coming up as well. Now, is there anything that you've learned now after being here for 6 months that you wish you knew before you came?
How difficult it is to drive here.
How difficult is it? And I did a video all about driving.
Yeah.
I think it's just for the members, if I'm not mistaken. And I went into the nuances of what you really need to know.
Yeah, you can do it. You have to be careful, and but if you follow the directions, you can do it. It's complicated. What else would I?
That's been the most
The biggest
difficult thing
adjustment?
for me. That's been the biggest adjustment is the driving, knowing if we were in America and the same things that happen on the road happen there, you'd freak out. Knowing that you don't have to freak out, that it's not imminent, catastrophe, that
It's
they're going to
normal.
go right by.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But in the beginning, you're going. You're jumping, thinking, "Oh my gosh, somebody's going to hit me."
Yeah, right.
It doesn't
Because that's the
happen.
appearance, but it's normal for here,
Yes.
and everybody adjusts as we talked about that. It just comes with the territory.
But I really like it. I mean, like I said, I like it better than I thought I would. I mean, I wasn't sure exactly. I knew what Tokyo and Japan is like. I've never lived in a tropical environment. I never lived in Hawaii. I lived in California. And I thought, I wonder if it's going to be too hot, and I wonder if it's going to be too humid. But I was here in the rainy season. I've been here in August and June and July and all that stuff, and it's just nice. I just like it. It's just nice. And Barbara was worried about the rain.
I was very worried because
People think rainy season's monsoons.
Right? And it's not.
It isn't.
It's an hour.
Even in California, when it rains, it's uncomfortable. It's all day long. It's cold. I don't like it. I don't like the rain. And John kept saying, "Well, you lived in Okinawa. Didn't you get upset about the rain?" I said, "I didn't even notice it."
150
So
inches.
now I know why. Because when it rains here, it may rain very, very hard, harder than imaginable for 20 minutes, but then it's gone.
It's like
not
summer
all
thunder
day.
showers in Florida.
Yeah.
It's not all
Yeah.
day.
They roll across from the east coast to the west coast of Florida,
That's
and
right.
sometime during the day you're going to get some rain.
Yeah. I wish
and
I
it
had known
lasts
that.
20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then it's done. And the nice thing about up in the north, our nights are actually cool in the north, even in hot season.
Yes, it is.
And if we get an afternoon thunder shower
Cools
at
it off
5 or
more.
6 o'clock, and it takes the heat out of the cement and everything that holds that heat, so it doesn't have a chance to radiate till 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and it cools it off, then the nights are really nice. If not, about 1 o'clock it gets cool, but because it takes a long time for that heat to dissipate.
Yes,
But
I wish I
5 or
had
6
known
o'clock.
about the rain. I wish I had known that you don't need to really worry about it, because I thought, oh, John, we're going to move and it's going to rain all the time and going to be stuck, and I thought, it rains for 25 minutes and it's gone. What am I worried about?
And it's not cold.
It doesn't disturb my day at all, and it's not cold.
Yeah, right. It's,
It's
not cold.
never a cold rain, so it's not.
It's
not
actually
uncomfortable.
refreshing.
Yeah.
If I actually go outside and get rained on, okay, fine. It was rained on.
So to close, what your thoughts about other people that are sitting home now and their situation might not be that good, or they're contemplating a change for one reason or another? It could be the economy, they don't have the job, they're retired, there's more month at the end of the money, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Some situation where they're looking at the options, because I end up always
always
telling
an
people
option.
there's always an option. you made the choice and you came over, and really I just want some closing thoughts that, you know, maybe you could talk to the people about, you know, if they're sitting back home, if it's something that you think that they should do or contemplate, or
I would say to try to.
and it's not just about Thailand. It's basically about any place that fits
No,
Yeah.
but
them, about moving out of their comfort zone.
do a self-examination about what lifestyle they want, and then go for that. Think of it in that way. Is this a lifestyle that suits me, that fits me?
Because you made a YouTube video about philosophy and matching your philosophy to moving to Thailand or anywhere else. Like, is this going to fit me? I remember watching that. And I showed it to Barbara. That's right. You have to determine what a person has to determine whether or not that their lifestyle that they're looking for, their retirement or whatever, is going to be matched by where they're going. You know, and you ask the same questions. You know, what's important to me? Is security important? All
That's
those
right.
things that you ask.
Because if your rules are too tight and you got to have really strict rules, like what she was saying about driving, this would drive them crazy. They would go, I can't live here. I just can't deal with this, because these rules are more suggestions than they are rules or laws.
That's what Barbara says. It's suggestions.
They're suggestions. And so if somebody was too tight in that area of their life, you know, everything's got to be perfect and organized, and this place would drive them nuts.
That's right.
You know, so these are the kinds of things that I talk about.
If you go to the store and there's absolutely no Diet Coke on the shelf, are you going to get upset? You're going to get mad. If you are, you better pick something else to drink.
And then once they get over here, the same thing applies to the area.
Yeah.
I know somebody that had spent time in Pattaya, and then they came up to Chiang Mai, and they were bored to death. They needed that stimulation all the time of, you know, that frenetic. I say it's like living in a blender. You know?
I know.
And they needed that. And so for them, it was like, no, I got to get out of here. I want to go back down there. And so I think Southeast Asia as a whole has a little something for everybody, depending. I just did a video about living in a village. And that's an option. People can actually, if they wanted to have a real sedentary, peaceful lifestyle around native Thais, they can go live in a village. And so Southeast Asia has a little bit of everything for everybody. And so I think you feel comfortable with your decision.
Yeah.
You look comfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You have to consider what you're looking for, and then find the place that fits you. And Chiang Mai is a place where it's a university town, has a lot of things that there's retired people here as well as other people who just live here, and it's quiet and it fits our lifestyle. But if you wanted a party lifestyle, you live in southern Thailand. You know, you have to do self-examination and find the part that fits you. But yes, you have to think about what you can get, and this is a nice place to live. Yeah, it's really nice, and it makes Barbara happy.
It fits our lifestyle, and I think that's what we were looking for, something that fit our lifestyle. If we'd stayed in America, our lifestyle would pretty much been more stuff, because the money doesn't go far enough to do things, to do activities, to enjoy yourself. It's enough to live, but not really enjoy yourself.
Queenie, you have anything to say before we go?
She's happy to be here.
Yeah? Everything cool?
Oh, and
Sabai, sabai?
guess what she eats for dinner?
Oh my gosh, what? Sticky rice.
Oh,
Roasted duck in gravy.
Roasted duck
And that is
gravy.
dog food.
dog
Try
food
to
for
get that
Thai
somewhere
dog food.
Hey, I gotta tell you,
Roasted
the
duck
Thais
and gravy.
love their pets.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They have
There's
nice
no
stuff
doubt.
for their
So it's
pets.
not like you bring your pet over and you're gonna be an aberration.
No, and the
Thais love their
vets
pets.
speak English.
And the vets, yeah, anybody in the medical field here, they speak English.
That's
It's,
right.
you know.
Every university professor, doctor, yep, they speak English. So do the
good.
nurses.
And
She's a happy camper.
has your, Queenie been to a vet here?
We went down there to check and see which vet to go to, and there's one down the street, and we got some medicine for Queenie.
We got some heart guard for heartworm, and some flea, the monthly flea administrated, and so we went and we met the vet. We haven't taken
And
her to
did
the
it feel
vet yet.
comfortable? Did you feel okay?
Sure.
Good,
Yes,
Yeah.
good rapport?
very accommodating,
Yeah.
very nice people,
Yeah, they speak English,
nice.
and everything's okay. They would understand.
and
like
they
we-
love their dogs.
Oh yeah,
Their dogs,
they
that's
do.
right.
Yeah, if you talk to people, you look for they even have English on the door. I mean, there's English and tells you all the prices and everything on the door, and they say what they're going to do. So obviously you walk in and say hi and they understand.
And people do, when they come to our house for whatever reason, they do always remark on how old the dog is, because a lot of dogs don't live to be that age, and how old the cat is. And for Thai standards, the cat is a little bit larger, and so they always remark on, oh boy, the cat is so big, and they really love the dog and cat for those reasons.
Well, with the amount of love you give your pets, I think they're going to be around a lot longer.
I think so.
Well, I want to thank you all for the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could play a part in your retirement
You did.
plans, and it worked out, and you feel comfortable over here. And,
Yeah, it's great.
And I'm glad to meet you. It's nice to finally meet,
Good to meet
in
you,
person.
too.
So I think it's been a real useful interview for everybody to understand what to expect to come over from your perspective, not
You
mine.
actually
true.
played a big part in us coming here, so we appreciated your input.
Well, I'm glad I could
that's
help
right.
out.
Thanks. Oh, here's our
Hey,
cat.
there's the cat.
There's Rusty.
There's Rusty boy.
This is the cat that's
The
bigger
other
than my,
member of the family.
that's bigger than my dog.
Bigger than the dog. Yeah. All right. Well, when it comes to living your retirement, remember you want to say it with me?
Oh,
There's always an option. JC out.